Hello, everyone. In this episode, I'm going to talk to you guys about how I stay sober during the COVID-19 and how I remained sober and did not relapse. You don't want to miss this. Stay tuned. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Sober is Dope. What I want to talk to you guys about is a continuation of our series on how I stayed sober and staying sober through COVID-19. Ladies and gentlemen, the first thing that I would like to say is being creative, using this time to tap into your passion, your excitement, or whatever drives you, whatever gets you up. A lot of you guys are home or maybe working from home. A lot of people are in between jobs. A lot of us are unemployed. So this is not necessarily the time to panic. And, if you're struggling with addiction, it's very important to focus now. This is the time I want you guys to focus. Because if we don't focus now, and you kind of backslide into your addiction, it could be problematic. And if you're new and you're consistently drinking, you don't want to form an addiction because it's definitely problematic, right? I'm 8 years sober today, and I can honestly say, ladies and gentlemen, I would be dead if I didn't find my sobriety. So I don't want you guys forming a new addiction with drugs or alcohol due to COVID-19. This is the most important time for us to buckle down, stay focused, regroup, and be very present in our family lives and strong for our family. So if you're struggling with addiction, that's okay. But this channel and the Sober is Dope podcast is all devoted to giving back and putting you guys on with techniques and tips on how to stay sober in life, and especially during COVID-19. So the one thing that I did in our last episode, we talked about the power of prayer. So go back and check that out. Without prayer and praying for others and living a life of service, I don't know if I would have made it. But I'm still sober. I'm 8 years sober, and I made it through the whole COVID-19. And we're in the middle. We're still in the pandemic, and it's still crazy out there. But I'm thriving, and I'm excited about that. So that brings me to my second tip. What I want for you guys today is to find something in your life that you really want to accomplish. One goal, just that one thing. That one thing could be the determining factor of your success in recovery and staying sober through COVID. But just a 2-for-1, because if you find something that you really could focus on, you could really accomplish something great during this time, right? Instead of just leaning on drugs and alcohol to cope, let's find creative coping mechanisms or new coping mechanisms. And one of those things for me was staying busy. So what I did was I wrote 2 books. One was a book devoted to the Sober is Dope podcast community that had a bunch of prayers and affirmations, which comes out in October. But I really wrote it in the beginning, around March. I started writing this. And then I also wrote a cool graphic novel, like a mini graphic novel. And I always wanted to get into that, but I was able to really accomplish it because I used the extra time that I had to be productive. I also took the Sober is Dope podcast from 100 episodes to 200 episodes within that time. So I was able to be more prolific that way and use my free time and creativity to create. And in addition to that, and this is not me just tooting my own horn, I'm trying to show you guys pound for pound how I utilize the time and the boredom and the uncertainty and the fear and all of that surrounding COVID-19 to create, opposed to getting drunk and using or relapsing or staying in a toxic addiction. So that's what I did. And in addition to those things, I worked on my health. I worked on building a clothing brand. I worked on art. I worked on music because I'm also a hip hop artist. So I was able to complete my album during this time. So ladies and gentlemen, the one thing, why Sober is Dope, right? Our channel is called Sober is Dope. Why Sober is Dope is because you're able to be more productive. But I'm calling it's a call to action right now. If you're struggling, if you're home during COVID-19 and you're drinking too much, you're doing too many drugs, you don't know where to go, you don't have an outlet, and you're starting to feel restless and fearful and uncertain, remember that alcohol is a depressant, and it's going to really make you more depressed. It's going to leave you more confused. So that's not the answer, and it's a inefficient way to cope during a crisis. But try to lean on creativity, tapping into your creative center, figuring out what you really want to do. This may be the one time in history that we have this much downtime to really focus on what was really important. And I think that's the question you may want to ask yourself. What's important to me today? What can I create or bring out of myself that's going to make me feel more fulfilled about life? But I'll tell you one thing, and this is certain. Alcohol is going to leave you feeling very unfulfilled, very broken, and very confused. It takes way more than it gives, and it's just a really dirty, dirty, dirty thing. So don't lean on alcohol and drugs. There's a better way, and I want to show you guys that, and I want to tell you that through prayer and tapping into your creativity, you could do wonders, and that's how I stayed sober during COVID-19. Check out our next episode where I give you more tips on staying sober through COVID. And also check out our wonderful playlist. And I'll catch you guys on the other side. Thank you. Peace.